Hey YouTube family, it's Daughter of the Most High. This past weekend I came across the third video in the series, The World is a Stage. And I've listened to about 39 minutes of the 2-hour video. This is Brother Works from Revelations of Jesus Christ channel. And these videos are actually well done and quite interesting. So I will link them in the description below if you're interested in watching them. They are lengthy, but they're worthwhile. I want to play for you the first few minutes of this video. He just recently, let me see if I can find the date. Yeah, he just posted it recently, but for some reason I can't find the date. But, oh, 2 days ago. Okay, so anyway, I want to play the beginning. And it's actually quite interesting. And if you don't know about this, you need to know about this. So I'll go ahead and play it.
Under my command. Let's go back to 1776, May the 1st. Adam Weishaupt was commissioned by the Rothschild family to set up the goals to control and take over the world with a one world government. And Weishaupt came up with 25 goals. Among these goals were control the press, corrupt the youth through sex and drugs, elect our own people meaning the Illuminati, to key positions in all levels of the government, city, county, state, and federal. And it goes on. The final goal was to take over the world, the one world government. Information is very well documented by William Guy Carr in his magazine, his book, Pawns in the Game. Pawns in the Game.
Pawns in the Game.
When I retired, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea about the Illuminati. I had no idea about Adam Weishaupt. This is the direction that we have to go. Americans, for the most part, are oblivious to what's really going on behind the scenes.
Come hither. I will show.
Americans are very blind to what's going on behind the scenes. And we can try to tell people, but most people will just attribute it to a conspiracy theory and just, assume you're crazy. This can't be true. And I remember when the Lord awakened me to this truth 4 years ago. Sorry, my voice is kind of husky today. I feel like I'm got like a pre-cold going on here. And whenever I feel that, I always really step up the Airborne and elderberry and all that kind of stuff, these drinks, so that if I do get the cold, it's not as bad. But you can hear it in my throat. I sound kind of different today. So anyway, that's going on, but I'm going to try to, I always pray. I've shared that. I always pray, rebuke the cold, and then because I don't like having colds. I don't know that any of us do, but I hate it. And it makes working really hard. And so I always pray and rebuke the cold germs out of my body. And also I feel like I'm going to sneeze now. That's what I get for talking about it. Hang on one second. Okay, I got my sneeze out. So that's what I do. And I try to reduce the cold by using those things like, I think, Airborne. I've been using that for years when I feel a cold coming on. And sometimes I don't even get the cold, or I just have like 1 or 2 days of like this. And so it's really works for me between prayer and taking a few of these little over-the-counter medications. And so that's why I sound different. So let's go back to this. The World is a Stage Part 3. And I will link all 3 of these. They are lengthy, but they're worthwhile. And again, if you don't have time to watch a 2-hour video, than just watch an hour or watch. I do what I can, you know, I watch what I can, and I've watched 38 minutes of this one. I'll finish it because I really like his work. I like what he does. And so, and it's quite well done. So I want to play that first part for you again. It's so interesting, especially if you don't know about it. But I've known about it for 4 years. The Lord has brought me to this truth so that I could, know and understand what's going on in the end times and know how corrupt things are behind the scenes. So here it is again.
Adam Weishaupt was commissioned by the Rothschild family to set up the goals to control and take over the world with a one world government.
And that was in 1776, May 1st.
And Weishaupt came up with 25 goals. Among these goals were control the press, corrupt the youth through sex and drugs, elect our own people meaning the Illuminati, to key positions in all levels of the government, city, county, state, and federal. And it goes on. The final goal was to take over the world, the one world government. Information is very well documented by William Guy Carr in his magazine, his book, Pawns in the Game. Pawns in the Game.
Pawns in the Game.
William Guy Carr, Pawns in the Game. I have that book. I bought it and I started reading it, and it's pretty intense. And so I'm hoping once things change with my employment that I can actually catch up on like the 25 books that I've bought. I love to read and I love books and always have. And I really look forward to reading Pawns in the Game to really solidify what I know already regarding what's going on and what we're heading toward. And so, yeah, it was a couple, 250 years ago now, that the Rothschild family came to this man, and not this man that's speaking, but the man that he mentions. And of course, he just goes with it. I mean, and comes up with 25 things. I'd like to see that full list. He only shares a few of them, but we can see it all happening. Corruption with the drugs and the alcohol and the sex. We see that. It's in videos, it's in movies, it's in everything. It's so raunchy. Everything's so raunchy. And of course, I work in addictions, so I see, a lot of that firsthand. And they clearly have done that. They've got their own people, which is the Satan-serving Illuminati on every level of government. And we know that too. And they elect their own people in. I mean, they don't elect, but they just select and make a show of it. They're trying to fool the masses. And those of us, 12 of us, sorry, know the truth. Okay, a handful of us that know the truth and know what's going on and know what's coming, the New World Order. So they've got all kinds of things planned. And we've seen some of it in action these past few years, have we not? So I am interested to see what they're going to do in 2023. They've got some pretty evil tricks up their sleeve, and we'll be moving into that. So no surprise there. If you are not familiar with this information, please become familiar with this information. It's been going on for quite some time. Several of our presidents have been Freemasons, and we know that there's, first of all, there's a lot of false religions. We know that. New Age is just so prominent right now. I was at my grocery store, and my local grocery store that I've gone to for, I've lived in the same city here for 26 years. And right in the like health department, like health and beauty and that kind of stuff, they have a woman with her hands like this, not close in, you know how it's always further out, but my camera's right here. So, you know, they do the little this. I don't even know what that is. And I don't even care that much. And they're doing this, and it's like there's so much New Age, you know, and then New Age doesn't know that they're serving Satan. It's just a way to serve Satan and seem loving and good and peaceful and meditation. And there's just New Age is just flooding the scene. But it's really, the outcome is no different than serving Satan himself, because they end up in the same place. And New Age has, you know, infiltrated some of the church as well. You know that. And so there's actually Christians that use some of the New Age language, like vibes. And we know there's vibes to things. We feel that vibration and energy, but it's spoken differently than if you go into a room where there has been some trauma, maybe a murder, maybe something, you're going to feel that negative energy. If you're sensitive at all, you're going to feel that energy. That is not New Age. But New Age, puts a twist on it, and they want positive vibes and, pray for me and send positive thoughts. And, that's that mixed thing, and God doesn't honor that. We shall have no other gods before our God. That's one of the commandments. And so this little New Age mix thing in the church needs to go. And so the fact that we may mention energy in an environment or in a situation doesn't mean that we're New Age. There are vibrations, there is energy. But again, we don't say it like they say it. Okay? And so, again, if you're not familiar with this information, if you're not familiar what's going on behind the scenes, get familiar with it. It's been going on for some time. And there's various videos that you can watch to become familiar with it. Several videos. And you can ask me for that information if you want to learn more about it. I can share some of that with you. I've shared it on past videos, but I've quite a few new subscribers in the last while, and so you can ask me that information. I'll share it with you. It's in part the MK Ultra, and that was quite eye-opening, that in itself. And there's some channels that really talk about that and share about it openly. So I want to just play a little bit more of his video here.
When I retired, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea about the Illuminati. I had no idea about Adam Weishaupt. This is the direction that we have to go. Americans, for the most part, are oblivious to what's really going on behind the scenes.
Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written: Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Then he goes into one of his songs, Brother. I don't think he calls himself pastor, he calls himself Brother Works, and Works is W-E-R, I believe K-S, or maybe it's X, I'm not sure. I've listened to a lot of his videos, but I don't pay that much attention to his name. And he's a little rough around the edges, and don't let that throw you. It's not a big deal. You can tell he's got a background. He looks like it was, interesting. And so he is sold out. I mean, 100% sold out to his walk with God and his ministry. He is, and when you watch the video, you'll see that he is. And I really like that about him. So look for the links in the description. I will link in parts 1, 2, and 3. This I played today was the beginning part, first 2.5 minutes of part 3. So check that out. You'll find it to be interesting, and if you're not on this path, you can join us on this path and understand what's going on. Have your eyes opened, and it really changes your walk with God. The enemy is at work, and when you realize that the enemy is at work, and he's working through the elites, we call them the elites, but they're really not. They're just the wealthy people, and they're in control of everything. They're in control of everything. They're in control of this famine that's coming. Anyway, I'm out of time. So see you, fam.